everybody. All right. So, for today, this episode, or whatever this is going to be Therapy by Dramatics from the Death and Doctors Hub. I would like to preface by saying this is not for the faint of heart and or people who do not like listening to a literal torture scene. Because this is basically what this is. There's two scenes. Both of them are torture scenes. It is from the perspective of somebody getting cut up, getting a whole bunch of stuff happening. So please, if this is something that you do not feel comfortable listening to, if this triggers you in any way, there's so many other things to watch on YouTube besides this. Besides that, regardless if you stay or not, I hope you have an amazing day, night, whatever it is. The tip of the knife was plunged into his ear. It was an odd sensation. Sure, there was pain. Incredible, exquisite agony. But that stopped at the surface of things. Below was a sensation of cold steel severing skin and sinew, and the sudden warmness of leaking blood stood at sharp contrast to the metal. Below even that was a deeper understanding that a vital part of him was being destroyed, that he somehow was forever compromised, never to be whole again. All these feelings, all these stark impressions, he couldn't help but find them fascinating, even as he writhed and squirmed against his bonds. Do you see what I meant now? Do you understand? The stranger loomed above him, her masked face half hidden in shadows, the long beak of her mask covered slightly above his forehead, threatening to poke out his eye if she leaned any closer. Gah! The stranger raised a gloved hand to her chin and rubbed it thoughtfully. Not quite yet, I see. Not to worry. We'll get there yet. Hold steady now. With that, she plunged a second knife into his other ear. This one was serrated, and he could feel each of its teeth massaging his auditory canal as it slid towards his eardrum. Again, there was pain. And again, he could sense something beneath it. Something else? A lesson? As he considered this, he screamed some more. Something simply could not be avoided.
The pain!
Yes, the pain! What does it tell you, beloved? What does it mean to you? He could feel hot tears streaming down his lacerated cheeks. Those had endured the woman's treatment earlier. The salt stung as wetness dripped over the barely scabbed wounds. Tears? No, not tears! This teaches us nothing! This means nothing! Completely within established parameters! Utterly normal! No cure! The woman was now pacing around the dim chamber, obviously vastly irritated. He wished he could help her, wished he could take the hurt from her voice. But all he could do was bemoan his own. It was shameful. We were so close! So close! All of it for nothing! With that, the woman returned to the chair he was tied to and carefully drew out both blades from his ears. He was surprised he could still hear her, with all of the damage. His vision was dimming as pain threatened to overwhelm his senses utterly. You sleep now. We'll continue tomorrow. Knives, obviously inefficient. Should have known. Too hung up on traditions. Was not thinking clearly. My fault. You sleep now. Darkness swallowed him, and relief from the pain. Why did he find it so disappointing? Today's experiments have been an utter failure. Beginning to fear I'm losing my touch. Perhaps more than that. I must remain a grip on what I am. Believed the old ways would still reinforce this. Was mistaken. Must attempt something new tomorrow. I must advance, not retreat. Must not become like certain to lose identity and meaning. to find enjoyment in what should only be a necessity. It is good they have taken him, locked him up like the animal he is now. Lost awareness of what he is doing and why. Believes he has succeeded without understanding in what. He is the cure. His conduct shames us all. To dabble with the dead. No, must not think of this further. Only the work matters. Yes, only my labor. Must not forget this lesson. Yes, tomorrow shall be something new. This one will be cured. Wake up! Wake up! Time to try again now. Cold water splashed against his face, and he awoke with a startled gasp. Yesterday was an utter failure. My fault. Something different now, different. Hold still. The masked woman was there again, holding some sort of vice in her gloved hands. He did not struggle as she inserted his head into it. He was strangely giddy, almost excited. He did not know why. Good, good, improvement. No squirming. Very proud. Open mouth now. He did. He felt her inserting something into it. He could not see what it was, but he felt it slide down his throat. It was dry and chalky, almost like a big pill. He could feel something was wrong right away. His eyes began to burn and tear. His skin was itching terribly. But the very worst of it was his throat and stomach. They felt as dry as ancient bone, as if they had never sensed the touch of water. He tried to scream, but his vocal cords were like dry leather straps, unresponsive and useless. Dehumidifying! New technique, very modern, very modern! She was leaning close to him again, peering closely into his rapidly drying eyeballs. No, no talk. Not important. I can see myself. Focus on sensation. See it through. See it below. Focus. He tried. This pain was nothing like he had experienced yesterday, nor any of the countless days before it. Though the pain of the blades inflicted was a layered thing, it could simply not compare. This agony rang in every cell of his body. The desperate need for moisture radiating like the sun's heat through every tissue. He could imagine individual cells drying out and dying. Could almost smell his skin dissolving into coarse powder. Such sensations! Excellent! You're very close now, very close now! Yes, she was right. He had never experienced such a thing before. His awareness of his own body increased to a level he had never imagined possible. Everything was pain, and he was everything. The world itself was crumbling around him, reality torn away and mulched and refined. All of existence shared his agony at this very moment, and he was one with it, one with all. The world was his. All of it was worth it. All of it was worth it. Just like he was promised, like his body collapsed on itself. With no moisture at all left in it, he crumpled into a pile of desiccated skin and empty, crumbling organs. His last impression was that of the masked woman, reaching out for him in dismay, desperately trying to stabilize his dying form. He tried to reach for her, to tell her that everything was all right, to thank her for all she did for him. But his mouth no longer worked, and his tongue was a black, shriveled thing in it. It was too late for that. He was going away now. The world was drifting away from him. All the sensation and pain leaving with it. He hated to see it go. As he died, his only regret was that he was never able to tell her what she did for him. Session notes 11, 12, 13, A, 56. Lost patient 1213 today. Unfortunate side effect of new therapy. Could not be avoided. Prior to death, patient showed promising signs of deepening understanding, though rapid degeneration of his speech capabilities prevents me from making a more accurate assessment. New dehumidifying treatment process, necessary depth of sensation, but may prove too rapidly lethal to be viable. I must attempt again with next patient. This time without attempting the knives first. Probably weaken patient 1213 too much prior to experiment. Must learn to avoid old habits. Attempted knives too many times. Inefficient. Must learn to control more primal urges. That is the way to madness. Must not be like Sarchin, must not go too far away. Must not believe in my own righteousness. Retain purpose. Still, today was progress. Must not regret process. Patient 1213 showed advanced signs of positive mental assimilation towards end of treatment. Another positive sign. All effort goes towards the cure. Through pain, understanding, through understanding, peace. I am here for. Do not let guilt consume me. Do not become like Surgeon and find relish in my work. Work only for understanding, peace, healing, enlightenment. Remember that I am therapist. Remember that I must make them become the cure.